Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole Lano. Hello and welcome everybody to Unshakable with Human Design. I'm your host, Nicole Lano, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered why October is the spookiest month of the year? Obviously, it's Halloween. And so October becomes kind of a spooky month about scary movies and about creepy decorations, monsters, and all of these things. Well, we think that it's just because there's Halloween, right? What I think is really interesting, we're going to dive into the human design reasoning behind why I think October is the scariest month of the year, why we celebrate fear so much during the month of October. And obviously, Dia de los Muertos, there are other holidays that are associated with this, but I want to dive into the human design element of this today. So I don't always do transit reports. I don't do a monthly episode on here. If you'd like one, please let me know. I'd love to know if these interest you, if these are really helpful. We can certainly make them part of our regular cycle. This is something that we do inside the Human Design Lab, where I take everybody through the gate every single week. They get lessons and experiments and all of these things on each gate as it transits the sun. So we do deep dives in there, but I don't do it on the podcast. But October is such a special month because of this theme of fear. Because the theme of fear is not just tied to Halloween. And it's not just tied to the holidays. It's tied to the cosmic energy that we are all experiencing during this month of the year. October is mostly the month of Libra. That is the bulk of the month. October are Librans. However, the gates within human design, we're going to go into those. We're going to go into each of the themes that they represent. Now, what's interesting about October is, first of all, we're in what we call the quarter of duality in human design. The quarter of duality is about relationships. It's about purpose through bonding. So if you look at a mandala, each of the gates sits within a quarter, and the quarter has a theme. They all are associated with something. And this month, we fall into the quarter of duality. We're in the heart of it because we were in it last month as well. My purpose sits within the quarter of duality. And what that tells me is that something about my purpose is going to be tied to relationships and bonding and building bonds. And it has certainly been an area where when I look at my purpose through that added lens, not just through the gates of my incarnation cross, not just through my nodes, but to say, what quarter do they sit in? What's the greater theme that's happening here? It's relationships. And I have to say that it's one of the areas of greatest emphasis and learning. So that's one of the things that we can see here. So we're in the quarter of duality. If you were born in October, then you are also a quarter of duality person. But all of these gates, whether it's your purpose or not, we're all going to experience this because this is what happens. The sun, as it transits the different gates, we all feel it. We all feel the theme that everything is under. So what we are transiting during this month, the gates are all in the spleen. They're all in the splenic center. And they are gates 48, 57, 32, 50, and 28. These are all the gates of the spleen that we will be going through throughout the month of October. Every 6 days, we will change. Now, what's interesting about this and why I relate it to Halloween and to October and the month of fear is that every gate in the awareness centers is tied to some sort of fear, but really where it's known for is the spleen. There's like survival fear that has to do with the low frequency of every gate in the spleen. So if you have splenic gates active, if you have a defined spleen, if you have channels that are connected to the spleen, which would give you a defined spleen, if you have that, then you have some consistency in fear. You also have some consistency in what will make you feel safe. There's two sides of it, and we'll do an episode on the spleen. I don't think we've done one, so we will do an episode on the spleen. But going into why I wanted to do this episode is you may notice you might feel more fearful this month, depending on if you're swimming in the shadows or the gifts of each of these gates. And that's what I wanted to rattle off here for you. So you guys could understand what's going to unfold. Now, what can happen here, though, is you can find some healing in all of this if you're paying attention to what's kicking up for you. But what I think is really powerful about this is to know that all the gates, all the fears of the spleen are really meant to be walked through. They're not real fear. Real fear is like, oh my God, there's a car coming and it's going to hit me. That's real fear. But we all know that acronym, false evidence appearing real. We actually don't need evidence to be afraid if the spleen is in a low expression, if one of these gates or some of these gates are in a low expression. We just feel afraid. So if you have gates active, this might be a consistent fear that you have. I have lots of them. I have lots of spleen gates active, and my spleen is defined. So this is a consistent theme for me. And one of the things that was really eye-opening for me with human design was understanding what that fear actually was, that it's just a consistent low frequency of something that I can choose to lift it up. And that's what the work we do in all of my programs, and particularly in the Human Design Lab, is bringing things into a higher expression. How do we lift it up out of the shadow into the light? How do we do that? So let's break down the different gates and the different fears that are going to be coming up this month so you can be aware of them. And when you feel it, you could go, oh, Nicole was right. There it is. I do feel this more strongly this month. Ooh, this is kind of weird. Oh, wow. I feel so much more powerful because I know to look at that and go, oh, that's just noise. I don't need to subscribe to it. What you also might see is more fear in the world right now. So be very in tune with that. Be very in tune. If you see some things that come up that seem like doomsday, wait till these gates of the spleen pass. Wait till we're in a different space and then see how you're feeling and how the world is reacting at that point. But I want you to see, you can definitely tell by not just what's happening personally in you, but you can also see this play out in the greater world, in the news, in your family, in your communities. Are you seeing these themes of fear that I'm going to go through with you now? So the first gate that we hit, the beginning of the month, we're in the 18th gate, and we are there already because we started that in September. And gate 18 is actually, this is the gate of correction. The gate of correction. So this is part of this channel of judgment, and it's the fear of authority. It is the fear of the man, so to speak. You can feel like you are not good enough with this gate, but it's also about achieving perfection. So this can be a lot of childhood fears. This can feel like, the fear of authority, people coming down on you, people judging you. So it doesn't have to be big authority. It can just be that you feel that other people are being an authority over you and you don't like it. So that's how the fear of authority can come up. Well, it can come up in lots of ways, but that's one of the ways that it can come up. And it's all about being in integrity with yourself. And by integrity, I really mean being strong in yourself. Integrity as a stability, that more in that sense. Then we move into gate 48, which is the gate of depth. And this one, I have like all of these. It's so funny. Gate 48, the gate of depth. The fear is the fear of inadequacy. This is the gate that never feels good enough. This is the gate that's never ready. But the potential is great wisdom and resourcefulness. This gate can be so resourceful. This gate is so stockpiled with talent and with depth, but it doesn't trust the depth. So do you notice yourself feeling inadequate, feeling not enough, more so? And just FYI, that's potentially a general theme that you are struggling with more this month than other months. Feeling inadequate, feeling like you're not ready, feeling like you're not good enough, this may come up here. And it'll have more of a survival than an ego feel to it. It's going to feel a little bit more like it's not safe for me to step out. I'm afraid. Then we move into gate 57. Gate 57 is the fear of the future. What if it all doesn't work out? I can't make this move. I'm scared. What if it doesn't work out? What if I don't follow through? What if? The fear of the future. And the potential here is to have great intuition. So that's the gift. That's where you want to go. You got to trust your intuition. You have to trust that your intuition is guiding you. And if you're following your strategy and authority and you're following your design, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it gets easier to walk through these fears, to see that fear and go, no, I trust my strategy, my authority. I trust my process. If you trust your human design process through and through, these fears start to melt away. If you're following your design, the fears no longer have a hold of you because you're not trusting in your intellect to tell you whether the fear is correct or not. You're saying, I trust my process, so I can let the fear go. And then you can be tuned into your intuition, which would be the gift of gate 57. Gate 32 is the gate of continuity. It's about preservation. This is the fear of failure. What if it all doesn't work out? What if I fail? Not the future, not what's going to happen down the road like gate 57. It's not the same. Gate 32 is tribal. This is about what if we fail as a society. Gate 32 is a definite fear-mongering gate in its shadow frequency. So pay attention to when we get to gate 32. Gate 32 starts on the 15th of October, and it runs through the 20th of October. Notice if you start to see more fear-mongering of systems failing, things failing, society failing, government failing. Do you hear that get cranked up? I mean, it's kind of a constant theme that we hear now. But are you seeing that happen? Are you feeling that in a way of, is my business failing? Are we going to make it? Is this all going to be okay? Did you have a bad launch? And you start to feel that feel of failure strongly. Hang tight. Let it sit. That fear might not be as real as it feels to you in that moment. We transit into gate 50 on the 21st of the month. Gate 50 is the gate of values. This is very mothery energy. Gate 50 is the gate of values. It is the fear of responsibility. So this can be really nurturing, but then it goes, I don't want all that responsibility. So it can almost push people away. The fear of not being able to handle it all, the fear of people wanting too much. So I'll give them nothing. That fear of responsibility. And the gift of this is harmony. It'll all work out. We're all going to be okay. We'll all take care of each other. I'll take care of you. It'll all be okay. There's always enough. And the last one is gate 28. They call it the gate of the game player. And this one is interesting. I love this. This is where I'm bringing it full circle to the beginning of this episode, talking about Halloween, because we close out the month. We started on October 26th. We transit into gate 28, and it transits until Halloween, the 31st. And this is the gate of the game player, but it's the fear of death. I love when things work out like this. It's so fun. It's the fear of death, but it's not actually fear of physical death, although it can be, I suppose. It's the fear of purposelessness. Like, is it even worth it? It's like the death of hope, the death of purpose. That's the fear. Is it even worth any of the effort? And the gift of this is immortality, totality, to leap into life. I'm going to take risks, and I'm going to take big ones, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to make it work. So if you loved this, I'd love to know. We can certainly do more of these episodes because this was fun. But these are going to be the background frequency of the next month. And I don't want you to be scared of it. Woo, I don't want you to be scared. But I do want you to be noticing that if you have fears creeping up, I want you to think back to this episode and think, oh, is this what Nicole was talking about? And it's not necessarily an anxiety, although it can manifest as that. It can trigger anxiety. But the fear is much more like it's a primal fear. That's really what it is, because the spleen is a primal center. It's about survival. I need to run. This is where the adrenaline comes. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. It's the alert system that tells you to go. And so it's not a motor. It's not really moving you to anything. It's just that fear that's lingering there. It's aware of the fear. So you might be more aware of fear this month. And just remember, the worst case, you just hang tight. The best case, though, you think of the gifts of each of these. Inadequacy. No, I trust my wisdom. Fear of the future. No, I trust my intuition. I got this. I trust my process. And you can have an opportunity to pull ahead of the pack because everybody will be feeling this. You will not be alone. Everyone will have this, whether people publicly put that out there or some people don't succumb to it as easily. You can choose to be one of those people. Don't succumb to the fear. and don't get drawn into the fear if you see this being a message on the news, on social media. Be afraid of this, be afraid of this. The sky is falling. This is the month that you want to hang tight and observe and pull back, maybe unplug a little bit, and just keep your head down and you keep doing your thing and know that you follow your process. So do you have any of these gates? Do you have any of these fear gates? If you're not sure, go to NicoleLano.com/chart and you can run your free advanced human design chart over there, and we will give you all the details. You'll be able to see if you have any or all of these gates active in your chart, and you know which fears are going to be maybe even more magnified for you as they transit the sun. Or maybe you're just so used to them, you're like, I've learned to deal with those fears so much over the years that I don't even notice it anymore. Very cool to understand how these things work, though. So go download your chart, and we will link all of this up in the show notes for you. Remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So thank you for letting us help you on your journey of becoming unshakable with human design, everyone. We will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to NicoleLano.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.